Hey, welcome back to the Reality Guys. Brett and Kevin here to talk about Survivor, the greatest show on earth. As always, we have episode number 12. I'm the bandit. I don't know who said that, but it sounds like a jam thing to say. And so the beginning half of the episode, I'm not going to lie, I thought was really stupid and boring. And Carolyn was whining about something I already forgot what she was whining about because it was that forgettable. But then they went to this ball challenge, which I also hated. It just made me think how much I miss Australian Survivor, where as I was watching that season, I was just in it to win it from the get-go, addicted to the season. But I will say the latter half of this episode was pretty good. But
And at least we got two challenges this episode. It's been better than the previous things where it's just been one. There hasn't been like a reward. It's just been straight immunity challenges.
right.
But that also being said, it doesn't even matter. But if it's that
Okay.
boring,
So yes, it was a reward challenge, right? They don't have those that often, but like in new Survivor era for America, whenever they do rewards, they're boring. They suck. Like they had a dumb spa day. They barely strategized, maybe like a little bit. It didn't matter. There's no idols or anything to find. They need to
yeah.
get back to like rewards where they did it a week or two ago where they had to pick people to go on the reward. This time they were on a team. I just
Well,
thought,
typically in a situation like this, the people at the camp would be out hunting for an idol because they knew Carolyn just used hers.
they did do that though.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yes, yeah. So I wrote that down. Like I wrote it down somewhere that very briefly before the reward challenge, they were talking about like whoever they just voted out, Danny, blah blah blah, and then so the idol. They went searching for an idol. I'm ready. I'm waiting to take a screenshot of the person that finds the idol, but nobody found the idol. At least that we saw from the camera. So instead, they had some stuff about finding coconuts or whatever. It appears that no one found it. Heidi had a confessional, maybe her only average, better than below average confessional the whole season where she talks about having two idols at once. And she did not find a second idol that we saw. So, we can talk about her later though, because that just reminded me. But they go into that ball challenge, and I think the highlight of the ball challenge was Carolyn wandering around like a zombie because she lost the ball. I know you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, that was really funny. That was really funny.
Carolyn, come towards my boy. I'm coming. Carolyn's not even on the ball right now. To your left, your left, your left, your left. You see me? Your left, your left. Ah, on you. Yes.
It reminded me of those like that like viral game that people were doing with the Nerf guns, where everybody like they call it a quiet place, and there's one person with the Nerf gun that's blindfolded, and everybody's moving around. They have to try and shoot them. She was just like looking for the ball, couldn't find it, and there was like a camera right in her face, and she could tell that it was there, and was like batting at it, but couldn't touch it. It was
I've
funny.
never heard of that game, but that sounds fun. I
Yeah,
I've never
it
heard of it,
looks fun. I
but
never played it. I wish I could.
I'm gonna have to look up YouTube videos of the Quiet Place game. But yeah, every soundbite, like the whole challenge is basically Carson and his crew crushing it. He was on the team with Jam and Lauren, so they just demolished Carolyn's team. She just every soundbite was her like getting like cramped into something like she's like that. She's like the teacher from Jimmy Neutron, where she's like all the time.
I never saw that show, but
Okay. I'll see if I can that because I just thought of that right now. But yeah, so the ball challenge, and then so the highlight is Carolyn and Carson are on separate teams of that. They're both working magic on their group. All right, so Carson, Jam, Lauren, they win immunity. They go to the sanctuary, which it bores me. I wish there was something more to it because I don't care to watch them get massages or whatever they're getting. And they're strategizing. And I like Jam this whole episode. I think he's starting to think I need to take out Carolyn, and she's a threat. Or a lot of them have been saying she's a threat the whole episode. So Lauren, obviously, she's raw too strong. So I think she's got some allegiance with Carson, and she's like me, Carson, and Jamie, and with Jam. Now we're going to take out Carolyn, and that seems to be the best move for her at that point. And I really thought Jam Jam was starting to like, I mean, I think he is realizing it, but I don't know. I guess
It would
where
have made sense. It would have made sense to get rid of her out of the whole group. It would have made sense to get rid of her or Carson.
I disagree.
Essentially,
I mean, I think we talked about this last week, but I think getting rid of Carolyn right now is stupid. Like, she's not a good player. She's you can say she's strategic and crap like that, but like physically, she's not a good player. She's erratic. She's crazy. I wouldn't want to sit next to her at the end because I think she could definitely steal some votes, but she's not a short-term threat in my opinion. So
gotcha.
I mean, I guess they had to at this point they're siding with Jam Jam and Carson, so I guess she's the only option for them because I guess that's just how they feel more tight with Carson, and then Jam Jam's on the reward, willing to negotiate with them.
Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, if you cut back to the losers of the thing, you have Carolyn, Heidi, and Jamie, where Jamie, she's the one trying to get out Carson in this situation. However, you get Heidi, she doesn't want to team up with the girls. So apparently, Heidi thinks that Carolyn and Jam Jam are the best final three for her. And so, my opinion of Heidi is she's probably the worst player of this entire season. Everything she says annoys me. It might be her accent, but it also could just be her really bad strategy. And yeah, she has an idol, which she misplays later. And and
Well,
then
was last night the last time she could use it?
I don't think so.
Because if that's the case, then I don't think it was misused. But
I'm pretty sure there's one more night she can use it. So maybe she'll. At this point, I think Heidi is the biggest goat of the entire season. I don't see her winning at all. She, especially after she misplayed that idol. So, jumping ahead a little bit, but whatever. So yeah, so what do you think of that tribal council and the strategy and all that stuff? Because obviously we thought me and you both thought Carolyn might end up getting sent home tonight, which kind of shocked
yeah,
me.
going into it, I thought she was done. And I mean, you said that after the second vote, you magically changed your mind somehow. But I stayed true to thinking she was done, but until at least 4 votes from Jamie.
Oh, once Jamie already had 4, the majority, that's when you
Yeah, I mean, that's why I was like, oh, I guess there's no way. So
yeah, so this whole time, well, the whole episode, I thought Lauren was going home until she won immunity. So like, okay, like who's gonna win now, or who's gonna go home now? And that's when I was like, it's either gonna be Carolyn or unless they do some flip flop thing at the end with Jam Jam and vote him out because they think he's a double crosser. So
yeah. Well,
Carolyn,
who do you think is going home next week?
next week?
Given that, say like it's an open field, nobody wins immunity. I mean, obviously somebody has to, but
Lauren.
Warren. All right. Well, I think it's either. I think it's gonna be Carolyn or Jam Jam. I want it to be Jam Jam,
Yeah.
but yeah, he's just so annoying. And to be honest, he's not even that good. Like, he's not doing anything like that dramatically awesome. I guess he's keeping some people in the game. Like, he kept Carolyn in, but in a way,
Do you think that was the right move by him?
probably not.
Right.
But I don't know.
What was the vote? It was so. I mean, this was an interesting one because we're at 6. So they would have needed Heidi to flip too, which I don't think she was willing to do because she's just dumb. So
Who ended up flipping?
so stupid.
Who voted for Carolyn?
The girls, Jamie and Lauren.
Jamie and Lauren. All right.
Jamie and Lauren. Jamie goes home. They wanted Lauren to go home. I mean, it makes sense because I think, I think Jam Jam would have flipped on Carolyn, except it would have ended up being. I mean, he basically had to flip Heidi. He had to get Heidi to vote out Carolyn, but for whatever reason, Carolyn is convinced that it's in her best interest to get rid of the Ratu girls, and play her. Who even knows what Heidi was thinking? Man, she played her idol. She wasted it. Got no votes.
Yeah.
And I wanted to start with that. She got no votes and played her idol, and she even voted with the majority. So, like, what is she thinking? What is she thinking? Like, everything she says and does, I think is stupid and annoying. And I feel like a dick saying that, but I don't care. I hate it. You said you hate Jam Jam. I actually like Jam Jam and his strategy this episode. So I think actually, Jamie, she goes home, but I liked her strategy too. So she actually seemed to be a little bit smarter, more strategic this episode, despite like her early dumbness that we saw. But
Mhm.
I sort of started thinking like, damn, like they see Jamie as a threat. It seems like her head's in the right place. Maybe she could win still, but no, she's gone. So, and
Gotcha.
I wonder if they were even thinking she still had an idol, because that whole time they were talking about an idol with her, and they just kind of stopped talking about it 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, I was kind of. I don't know. I don't know if I knew that she had one. Like, just in my head, I thought everybody didn't have one, but
Well, she didn't have one. She gave away her fake idol to Kane.
well,
He got voted out, and they didn't believe her.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Who do you think's gonna win? It's got to be Atika. I mean, well, there's no way Heidi wins. I don't see it. There's no way she wins. She's terrible. And Lauren, she was my winner pick before we started, but I don't know.
I don't see her winning.
I don't think she can because she had. I mean, yeah, literally Atika has to win at this point. It's 3-2. So
But
there's
yeah, I guess it's either Jam Jam or Carolyn in my mind.
at
Because
least
I think next week, Carson's off with his head.
they were talking about him being a threat earlier this
Yeah.
episode. So he's like, "Oh no, that's not good. I didn't want them to think that." But I mean, he is. So I think he's the reasonable person to target at this point. Him and Jam Jam, I think, are playing better than Carolyn. So one of those guys should get targeted. But who knows? And Carolyn, she just seems to keep skating by.
I know, I know. And yeah, maybe that is why they keep having her around. They think that she's not a threat. But I wouldn't want to be next to her at the end.
Back. All
Probably.
right. So if you were in this game, who do you think you would want to sit next to in a final three? Would you be an extra person or would you replace a character?
As an extra person, I'd probably want to be next to Lauren and Carson. Because I don't think Carson's done anything strategic. And like that strategic at all. Actually, he hasn't really been a threat other than thinking he's strategic, and it's all smoke and mirrors. And Lauren's just irrelevant. So I'd want to keep her around. I wouldn't want to mess with Carolyn because who knows what her story would be like. And Jam Jam the same way. Like him facilitating between both tribes tonight kind of gives him a little bit of an edge, but that's about it.
So of the choices available, obviously, I think Heidi and Lauren would be the best to sit next to. But if I had to not sit next to one of them, I would want the third one to be Carolyn. I would want it to be Carolyn because I mean we're getting a good edit of her just being present on the show, but on the island of those three, I just feel like she's the worst. So, and I think
The finalist cut. The finalist
like, I think based off what I've seen of her interacting on the island, I think she'd be the easiest one to discredit in their minds. So,
I feel you.
which, yeah, I really hope she doesn't win because I just don't like it. I guess if she's the one Tika sitting there, she probably deserves it, but I'd rather see Carson or Jam Jam win.
I don't want Jam Jam to win at all. Jam Jam, what, like, has he won anything? Actually, I guess he did win that one immunity recently.
He just won a reward challenge too. Doing the
That doesn't fucking count. That's nothing.
does it count for Carson? Because Carson got to chill in the ball. Jam
No,
Jam
no, does not count.
I don't like that Jam Jam didn't turn on Carolyn this episode, even though he talked about it for half the episode. But it is what it is. Jamie's gone, and we've been rambling on for too long, so I'm done.
Okay.
Next week. It's just not the same without Danny or without George.
Yeah, I agree. Yours.
Thanks for watching.
Yes, thank you. Watch again.
Yeah.
Watch again.
If you can hear me saying these words right now, comment below.
Yeah, please say something.
Say King George in the comments. And if you say King George, I'll PayPal you or Venmo you money.
75 cents.
I'll give you at least $1.